more and more states right now are looking at gradually reopening their states, some as soon as this week. We're going to get into the details of that. A state that is also considering it, but in a staggered fashion, is Connecticut. The state's governor joins us right now, Ned Lamont. Governor, very good to have you back with us. How are things looking there?
Hi, Neil. We're making a little progress every day. We are planning to open the state on a very careful and thoughtful way to keep people safe.
So is it going to be geared still around May 15th, Governor? I know you and your colleagues in largely these northeast states of New York and New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, they've all kicked around that middle of May to address this. But is that still your plan?
Yeah, we told the schools we're not going to reopening anything before May 20th. We said small business, you should assume something along those same lines. But remember, here in this state, we never closed down big construction projects. They kept going. We never closed down manufacturing. We kept that going. We never closed down our state parks. We kept that going as long as people, maintained a safe social distance. So a lot of these other governors who are talking about opening things up now are things that we never closed down.
But still, you have encountered protests, and virtually now half the states that have some form of sheltering provisions, there have been protests. So you dealt with them as well. Is it that they want it ended now, or what's the latest?
I think that's right. My house here was surrounded by beeping cars for about an hour and a half last night. Something along the lines of Liberate Connecticut. Same thing you heard coming from the White House. But you liberate Connecticut too fast, you're also liberating the virus. That doesn't do anybody any good.
You've called for much more rapid testing and more testing locations. I was surprised, given the population in the state compared to New York and California, you've had quite a bit of tests done already. The last count, Governor, was about almost 63,000 tests. Now, is there a number that you're aiming for before you can say, all right, I can ease up on this?
Yeah, we started doing the broad-based testing based on an app with the CVS Abbott Labs down in the greater New Haven area. We've done close to a couple thousand of those tests now. Up in Hartford, we're going to be doubling our capacity there over the next few days. So we are ramping up. We're taking this on our own account right now, getting the reagents, working hard with Abbott, who have been a great partner for us.
Governor, I was noticing, you just don't look at more testing. Obviously, as you've said in your press briefings, you want to see a decline in the number of cases, obviously the number of deaths, hospitalizations. I think that is improving in your state as it is improving in a lot of other states. But there are bumps along the way. I mean, the latest numbers I have show about 19,815 cases. My data might be delayed. So that's up about 1,853. Deaths increased 204 to about 1,331. But is the arc changing for you? In other words, are the rates of increase in both changing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think our hospitalizations are leveling off, except for northern Connecticut. Neil, what we got to watch out for, though, is flare-ups. That's why we have the smart thermometers. That's how we use the How We Feel app. We have thousands of people on that. That's how we'll be able to tell whether Bridgeport flares up at the same time that New Haven is under control.
So when you talk about Fairfield County, which is the largest county in your state, hitting the apex, what did that mean? That it's trending down now? Or your hope is that it is trending down, right?
Yeah, in Fairfield County, which is part of that New York hot zone, the number of hospitalizations, the number of people being admitted, the net increase is going down. We have more bed capacity, more ICU capacity today than we had a week ago. And that's a really important metric as you figure out how much risk you can take in terms of people getting back to work.
Governor, I was mentioning earlier before I introduced you that with very little fanfare and all, you don't fight with reporters, you don't get snippy. I'm not criticizing those who do on the right or the left, but it's just the facts. It's like a, Jack Webb approach. Here's the latest. Here's what I've got. And constituents have responded to that. If you were to advise other governors of any party, the president, I always think in these times, Governor, people are very, very anxious. The last thing they want to do is freak out over something. Do you think of that when you address the press? Do you say, all right, I'm going to be as monotone as I can here, as just the facts as I can here, because I don't want to freak people out?
I want them to know that it's serious, that we take it seriously. But you're right, I don't want to create panic. And now I've got to have the balance between take this seriously, don't take your eye off the ball, but there is a way out of this. And we understand how much people want to get back to work or get back to school and get the right balance there. But every governor sort of reflects the temperament of their particular state. I think Andrew's New York and I'm Connecticut.
I've met a lot of temperamental people from Connecticut, though. So, I mean, some. So we'll see. All right, Governor, thank you very, very much. Be well. I'm glad, by the way, you got the Scarlett O'Hara reference I made a little
Nice to
earlier
see you.
because
Thanks.
so far, Governor, no one has. All right, thank you very, very much, Governor Ned Lamont of the beautiful state of Connecticut.